All right, let's get ready to rumble. Today, we've got a real championship bout in what might be the hottest category in golf, the player's distance iron. In one corner, you've got the reigning undisputed champ, a club you see everywhere, the TaylorMade P790. And in the other corner, we have the new challenger, completely redesigned and ready to take the crown, the Titleist T250. This is a true heavyweight showdown, folks. So let's look at the tail of the tape here. And wow, on paper, this fight is as close as it gets. I mean, look at this. They're both players' distance irons, check. Both have that hollow body construction, check. And here's the kicker. Both 7-irons have the exact same loft, 30.5 degrees. The only real difference? You could say it's experience. The T250 is the new kid on the block, while the P790 is a seasoned pro, now in its 5th generation. Okay, let's kick off round 1, ringside appeal. Or, what we golfers call bag appeal. And it's not just about looking good, right? It's about confidence. The way a club looks sitting in your bag, and especially when you're standing over the ball, that can make a huge difference in how you feel before you even start your swing. First up, the T250. And wow, the word on the street is that this new model is a massive improvement. They got rid of that old plastic badge look from the last version, and the result? It's just so clean. It's got this awesome, modern yet powerful look that really stands out. But hold on, the P790 isn't backing down an inch. I mean, its look is almost legendary at this point, right? It's just a beautiful club. Super clean, classic, with that signature chrome strip that just pops. There's a reason so many golfers have fallen in love with this look over the years. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The view at address. When you actually put the club down behind the ball, you start to see some subtle, but really key differences. The T250, it looks a little bit longer from heel to toe. Kind of sleek, which for some people inspires a lot of confidence. The P790, on the other hand, looks a bit more squat and compact. The top lines are basically a wash. They're super similar. So it really comes down to that overall profile. So round 1 is a toss-up. It really is. It all comes down to what you like to look at. Are you Team T250 with that longer, sleeker profile? Or do you lean towards the P790 with its classic, more compact shape? Seriously, which one would you pick? It's a tough call. All right, looks are one thing, but now it's time for round 2. Let's pop the hood and see what's really powering these things. We're diving into the tech that's packed inside these hollow heads, the stuff that's supposed to give you all that distance and performance. So inside the 250, you've got your hollow body design and a forged face for that pop and speed. But the real story here is the dual tungsten weighting. Basically, Titleist has put heavy tungsten weights way out in the heel and the toe. What's that do? It makes the club super stable. So even when you miss the sweet spot, the club head resists twisting, and that helps your bad shots fly a whole lot straighter. Pretty smart. Okay. Now over to the P790. It's got the hollow body, the forged face, the dual tungsten weighting, all that good stuff, just like the T250. But then TaylorMade adds its 1-2 punch. First, you've got the famous speed foam filling that hollow head, which is all about dialing in the sound and feel. And second, you have that speed slot that you can actually see right there on the sole. So what's the deal with that speed slot? Well, think about one of the most common misses for us amateurs. Catching it a little thin, low on the face, right? That slot is designed to let the face flex more, especially on those low strikes, and that extra flex saves your ball speed. So a shot that should have come up way short might just make it to the green. It's a pure forgiveness play. All right, time for round 3, the impact. This is the moment of truth. All that tech we just looked at, this is where you actually feel it. What happens when club meets ball? What's the sound? What's the feel? Let's get into it. And this is where that speed foam we talked about really makes itself known. The T250, it has that classic hollow body sound. A little bit clickier, maybe a little louder. The P790, because of that foam inside, is totally different. It's a lot quieter, more muted, almost like a dampened thud. Now, there's no right or wrong here. It's 100% personal preference on what kind of sound and feel you like. Okay, here we go. This is the main event. We've talked about looks, we've gone under the hood with the tech, we've covered feel, but at the end of the day, the numbers don't lie. It's time for the final verdict, brought to you by the one, the only, the unbiased judge, Trackman. Let's see what the data says. All right, let's break down these averages. First thing to look at is club speed. See how they're almost identical? That's awesome. It means this was a super fair test. But right away, there are two other numbers here that just jump off the page, and they tell a really interesting story about how these two clubs perform differently. The first big one is ball speed. On average, the P790 was 1.4 miles per hour faster. Now, I know what you're thinking, 1.4, who cares? But trust me, in the world of golf clubs, that is a significant advantage. That's the stuff that translates directly into more yards downrange. And here's the other huge data point, spin rate. Look at that. The P790 spun at 400 RPMs more on average. Now, this is a massive deal, maybe even bigger than the ball speed. When you're talking about scoring with your irons, this is all about control. So why is that extra spin so critical? Well, think about it. More spin means the ball flies more predictably. It holds its line better in the wind, and it stops faster when it hits the green. It helps get rid of those jumpers, those shots that just go screaming over the green for no reason. Higher spin gives you more consistent distances, shot after shot. That's the key to good iron play. But wait, there's a plot twist. Because even though the P790 was more consistent on average, the single longest shot of the entire test, that belonged to the T250. It just produced an absolute monster, a high-launch, low-spin rocket that went further than anything else. So what that tells us is, if you catch it perfectly, the T250 has an insane distance ceiling. And that leaves us with a classic split decision. There's no clear knockout punch here. It's not about which one is better, it's about what kind of fighter you want in your corner. Do you go with the P790, the consistent champion that gives you predictable control with that extra spin, or do you take a swing with the T250, chasing that ultimate peak distance on a perfect strike? Consistency or raw power? The choice is yours. Which champion are you picking?